Welcome to Duo Reads, where we decode deep ideas and break down big books one page at a time. Today, we're looking into Elaine Welteroth's really powerful book, More Than Enough. It's part memoir, part manifesto, all about her journey of self-discovery, figuring out her identity, and really forging her own path to success, kind of defying expectations the whole way.
It really is a standout narrative. She brings us right into her world, growing up in this small California town, interracial family, and then this incredible climb in like the super competitive media and fashion world. And what hits hard is how open she is about often being the only black woman in these, well, mostly white professional environments. Her story is just this huge encouragement, I think, to face down those societal limits people put on you
Yeah.
and to really own your worth.
Absolutely. So our goal here today is to pull out the biggest, most transformative ideas from her story, kind of give you a shortcut to understanding what it actually means to feel more than enough in your own life, wherever you might be starting from.
Yeah, makes sense.
So let's start right at the beginning. Chapter 1. She introduces this idea, born enough. It's this really foundational concept that our worth isn't something we have to earn. It's just inherent from day one.
Right. And what's really striking is how she links this directly to her mother. Even though Elaine had some health issues early on, her mom's just unwavering belief in her potential, her joy, it basically gave her this built-in sense of worth. It's like her mother's belief was a kind of shield against, future self-doubt.
Welteroth puts it beautifully. When a girl is born, a universe of possibilities is born within her.
Mm,
And that's not just like a nice phrase. It gets at something deep psychologically, how a parent's consistent affirmation really can equip a child, gives them that internal compass.
mm. Carrying the hopes of generations. That's powerful. But okay, believing you're born enough is one thing. Chapter 2 shows how quickly that bumps up against, well, how society sees things. She talks about this really sharp moment in preschool. They're doing a family collage.
Oh, yeah, I remember that part. And she suddenly feels totally different because there's nothing there that looks like her multiracial family. No representation.
Which just raises that big question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do you fight back against those messages from the outside world that try to chip away at that feeling of worth? And her mother's approach was, wow, so proactive. Not just acknowledging it, but actively doing something.
Mm.
She started this cultural literacy program, as Elaine calls it, right there at home.
Right, like West African dance, soul food.
Exactly. Filling the house with black literature. It was this deliberate, everyday thing to counter that feeling of being other and build pride in her black identity. It taught Elaine that lesson her mom lived by. When the world tells you to shrink, expand.
Expand, don't shrink. I like that. And that message carries through.
Yeah.
Chapter 4, Prettier But Ugly, that title alone.
Oof, yeah.
She describes this horrible fifth grade experience where kids literally ranked girls by looks. It's just such a clear example of how those early shallow messages about beauty can mess with your head, your self-worth.
Definitely. And her own journey with her naturally curly hair, hiding it first, then embracing it, becomes this like ongoing symbol of her finding herself, accepting herself. She says, self-doubt began to fester in the spaces that limitless possibility once occupied. Just gutting.
And it connects to something bigger culturally,
Right,
right?
so
In chapter 7, I Am Not My Hair.
Yes. India, Ari's song. She talks about how much that song hit home for her. It helped spark this moment where she really leaned into her blackness, actively pushed back against those Eurocentric beauty standards.
It wasn't just hair.
No, not at all. It was, as she says, a radical act. As a black woman, the decision to love yourself just as you are is a radical act. Her whole story there just shows how those early experiences really do shape who we become and why it's so crucial to consciously embrace your own unique background, your real self, instead of just trying to fit into some external mold.
Yeah, absolutely. And as she gets older, those challenges shift, especially in relationships. Chapter 5 introduces her concept of ride or die syndrome, which is basically that misguided loyalty, often fueled by movies or music, right? That makes you stick around in toxic situations.
Yeah, she talks about her first love at 14, falling into that trap, romanticizing it all, even though her mom was warning her.
It's such a classic trap, isn't it? Confusing sticking it out with being strong.
Totally. She admits she overlooked major red flags, just clung to it out of this
Yeah.
like misplaced sense of duty. And that's where her mom's advice comes in again. So sharp. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Such timeless advice.
It really is. A tough lesson, though, about not ignoring your gut feelings just to keep someone else happy or to fit some image.
And that pattern, unfortunately, seems to lead into chapter 13 when it all falls down. Her life looks perfect on the outside in her 20s, but the relationship turns emotionally abusive. It starts really tearing down her self-esteem.
It's a tough read. Because it's so common, that slow erosion of self. How do you even find your voice again when you feel so small?
Right.
For Welteroth, the turning point wasn't some big dramatic scene. It was more internal. Remembering her mom's words, finding that little bit of strength to finally push back against the condescension. She had this painful realization about how dangerous it is to tie your worth to someone else's approval, especially of partners.
Yeah.
That chapter really shows her resilience, and that quote, "There is nothing stronger than a broken woman who has rebuilt herself." Just wow.
It's such a powerful message. Your worth isn't up for negotiation. Prioritize yourself, your values. That's real strength.
And know when to walk away. That takes courage, too.
Definitely. Okay, so shifting focus a bit to her career. Chapter 11, started from the bottom. It's about her start in media, which wasn't what she expected. Her first day interning at Ebony magazine.
Right, she had these visions of glamour.
And walks into this, like, chaotic, cluttered office, a publication struggling a bit. She uses it as a metaphor, right? Mm-hmm. For being Black in America, so much history, so much potential, but often under-resourced or overlooked.
Yeah, it's a really insightful comparison. And even though she had doubts at first, maybe thinking she should have gone somewhere more mainstream like Essence, she decides to aim higher. Her goal wasn't just to be in media, but to actively change the conversation around Black beauty and culture.
She wanted to bridge that representation gap.
Exactly, and bring those perspectives into the big leagues, like Condé Nast. She was all about making space where there wasn't any, which leads to that great mantra she has. If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair.
Huh. Yeah, I love that. Don't just ask for a seat. Build your own table.
Pretty much.
And that persistence pays off. Chapter 14, a seat at the table. She gets the email from Eva Chen at Teen Vogue.
Huge moment.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating is her first reaction is conflicted. She actually turns it down initially.
Seriously, why?
Well, the book goes into it, but the key thing is they came back for her. They pursued her because they recognized her insights, her perspective were irreplaceable.
Wow. Okay.
And when she finally takes the job, becoming the first Black beauty director in Condé Nast history, it's massive. It wasn't just about her landing a cool job. It signaled a real shift, acknowledging the need for her unique voice and what that meant for representation across the whole industry.
She knew it was bigger than her.
Totally. She says it herself. My hire represented something bigger than me. She felt that weight, that responsibility.
And she definitely didn't just blend in once she got there. Chapter 16, Disturbing the Peace. That title says a lot.
Right. She comes back from a trip to Rwanda with Senegalese twists, and suddenly she's facing all this weird scrutiny, these really ignorant, racially clueless comments about her hair in the office.
Ugh, that must have been infuriating.
Yeah. And it became this clarifying moment for her, realizing that for Black women, hair isn't just hair. It's tied up in identity, culture, sometimes even activism. She connects it to other moments, like the backlash Zendaya got for wearing dreadlocks on the red carpet.
Right, I remember that.
So Welteroth decides, okay, I'm going to talk about this in mainstream media, even if it causes waves. Because, as she puts it, in order to change the stories, you must change the storytellers. It was about challenging norms from the inside.
Bringing those necessary conversations to the forefront.
Exactly. And that drive for change went way beyond just beauty topics.
Which brings us to Chapter 20, the ones we've been waiting for. This is where Teen Vogue really transforms, right? Especially around the 2016 election.
Oh, absolutely. It became this unexpected powerhouse, giving young people a platform to talk about human rights, social justice, things you didn't typically associate with a teen fashion magazine.
How did they manage that pivot so effectively?
Well, under her leadership, they started blending sharp political analysis with, like, real empathy. It became this vital space for voices that often get ignored. They published some incredibly viral pieces. Remember the Lauren Duca article, Trump is Gaslighting America?
Oh, yeah, that blew up.
Right. It showed a magazine like that could be a serious voice for social commentary. And the underlying message, borrowing from Obama, was that call to action. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek.
Don't wait for someone else to do it.
Exactly. Her time there really shows how powerful your own unique background, your voice can be in shaking things up, pushing for more inclusion, using whatever platform you have.
But all that work, that constant pushing, it has a cost.
Chapter 21, burning out.
Yeah. The flip side of that intense drive, she talks about the crushing stress, actual physical health problems cropping up,
Right.
realizing she was just grinding herself down, a total workaholic.
It's such an important chapter. Learning about limits, about
But see
self-care.
her? She has this moment of clarity, realizing there is no glory in a grind that literally grinds you down to dust.
That's a powerful line.
Isn't it? And that realization pushes her towards mindfulness, meditation, learning that lesson. When the music changes, so must your dance.
Adaptability.
Hmm.
But also knowing when the whole dance floor needs changing. Exactly. Recognizing when the path you're on just isn't sustainable. And having the guts to change direction before you completely break.
And that need for change gets really urgent in the next chapter, 22, End of an Era. News comes down that Teen Vogue might close its print edition.
Yeah, just ominous news. And even though she's exhausted, burnt out, she still decides to fight for the magazine, even if it felt like a losing battle.
What stands out there?
Her whole perspective on crisis, she sees it not just as an ending, but as like a necessary disruption. She says, crises are nature's way of forcing change, breaking down old structures, shaking loose negative habits so that something new and better can take their place.
Seeing opportunity in the chaos.
Kind of. And her honesty with her team during that whole uncertain time was apparently key. Building trust, even when things felt like they were falling apart, really drives home that point about prioritizing well-being, seeing burnout signals, and yeah, embracing change, even scary change, as a door to something else. Freedom on the other side of fear, maybe?
So the magazine's future is up in the air. Chapter 23, A Dream Realized. She's planning the big Teen Vogue summit, but she's also mourning what might be lost and totally unsure about her own next steps.
Yeah, talk about mixed emotions. But that uncertainty actually becomes a catalyst. Her agent, Christy Holbeger, gives her this really key piece of advice. Focus on aligning your work with your purpose, not just the next job title.
That's a big shift in thinking.
Huge.
Yeah.
And then she has these interactions with people like Hillary Clinton, Ava DuVernay. They got to reinforce this new direction, this focus on her deeper mission. Mentorship playing a big role again. Welteroth sums it up so well.
So the way I see it, there is work, and then there is your life's work. My goal was to build my life around the latter.
Work versus life's work. That's something to think about.
Definitely. And that leads right into the final big chapters. Chapter 24, Brave Enough. The meeting with Ava DuVernay sounds pivotal.
Yeah. What happened there?
Ava basically tells her to recognize her own power, to create her own narrative. Stop waiting for permission, essentially.
And that conversation gives her the final push she needs to leave Condé Nast. To step out into something new, unknown. Ava's line was unforgettable. Want to fly? You got to give up the shit that weighs you down.
That hits hard. What are we all holding on to that's weighing us down?
Exactly. It's a great question her journey prompts.
Yeah.
Because it shows that your past successes, however great, don't have to lock you in. They don't define what you can do next. She wraps up that chapter, that whole phase, feeling like I had done enough, I was enough, and I was ready for more.
Ready for more, not defined by the past.
Right. True fulfillment, she suggests, isn't about the title or the external stuff. Purpose is the thing. And purpose is infinite. It's about having the courage to let go of what's not serving you anymore and trust in yourself to chase your actual life's work.
So, bringing it all together, Elaine Welteroth's More Than Enough is just this incredibly honest look at how self-worth, resilience, fighting for change, it's all connected. It's about really embracing who you are, learning from the tough stuff, and having the guts to make your own way.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe the final thought to leave everyone with comes from her conclusion. Job titles are temporary, but purpose is infinite. So the question becomes, what does your infinite purpose feel like it's calling you towards? And maybe, with just one bold step, maybe even a scary one, you could take today to start building that future you really want.
Something definitely worth reflecting on. Your own journey of discovery of purpose. Well, thank you for joining us for this exploration today.